Okay, so Saturday morning, good morning. Happy yoga time. We're starting with a block. Okay, everybody is muted. So, you can right now have your arms wherever they feel comfortable. And they could be down by the side. If it feels good to you to have a nice goalpost open arm right now, that's okay. If it feels like it's too much, on your lower back or middle back, whatever, shoulders, then keep your arms wherever you'd like, even just across your body is fine. Bend the knees, the feet are on the floor. This time take the feet so the pinky edges of the feet are touching the outer edges of the mat. Let the knees knock in together. Breathe in through the belly, ribs, chest, so find that fullness of your breath. I know it feels like we haven't been together for yoga for a while. It's been a couple of weeks, so good. I'm glad to be back. Hope everybody's happy to be back together. So just again, breathe deeply through the belly, ribs, and the chest. And then empty out. Just try to not hold on to any tension in your glutes, your back, your neck, your shoulders. Just let the body breathe. And let your body weight settle onto the block so you're supported. If you don't have a block and you're watching this at home, I recommend getting one. Probably a 6-inch block is a good way to start. Now, if your arms are anywhere else, go ahead and bring them towards a goalpost arm or scarecrow arms. So the elbows point down towards the front of your mat, the fingers point towards the back of your mat, your palms are open. As you inhale, expand the chest and bring the arms together like a chest press. And inhale, open the arms out to the side. I think I just told you to inhale. I didn't tell you to exhale. So take a breath here. Exhale, bring your arms together. Squeeze the arms together. Touch the elbows if possible. Inhale, open the arms back to your cactus arms or on your arm floor. Exhale, draw the arms together right in the middle of your chest. Soften the glutes. Inhale, open the arms. Exhale, squeeze the arms together. Keep the arms elevated, but open them back out cactus height. So just like you were doing on the floor, but the arms are still off the floor. And then turn your elbows a little bit more towards the ceiling. Bring your arms closer to your shoulders and ears. And turn your arms down like you're going to put the hands on the floor and do a wheel pose, let's say, or a headstand the opposite way. So you can even touch your fingertips to the floor. So the arms are like an L shape here with the elbows pointing up to the sky. Take another breath. Empty the breath, straighten the arms up so the arms are right over your shoulders, palms facing in as if you had a block between your two hands. And then open the knees wide and just keep the feet wide but let the knees open out to the side. Notice how the breath changes, how the space opens up a little bit more accessible. Inhale, open the arms to a T with your palms facing up. Now the arms are resting back on the floor. Exhale, bring your arms and legs towards each other. Inhale, open your arms out to the side. Let the knees splay open. Exhale, bring the arms and legs together. Touch the palms, touch the knees if that's accessible to you. Inhale, open up. Exhale, bring your arms and legs together one more time. Keep the knees together and just cross the right arm underneath, or it doesn't matter which way, grab a hold of your shoulders. So just cross your elbows and hug your arms as close to your shoulder blades as you can. Keep the knees as they are. Inhale, open your arms and just switch the cross of the arms. Just give yourself a big hug. And see if you can pull yourself apart by holding onto the shoulder blades and stretching them apart from each other. Inhale, open the arms back out to your T. Walk your feet back underneath your hips. Take your right leg in the air. Flex and point. Don't worry about where it is in space. Don't worry about if it's straight or bent. Just hold it up for as long as you can. Start to feel some action in the core, just so stay a little stable. And then hold some stillness in your stretch And if it feels okay for your back, stretch your left leg out in front of you. Now, think about how the left leg being down is probably lifting the right hip a little bit. So now think about leveling out your pelvis and keeping the right hip on the block as well as the left hip, right? So we're not putting more movement or weight into the left side. We're putting it into both sides. Take another breath here. Float the left leg to meet the right leg. And bend the right knee and place the foot on the floor. Left leg is up, you flex point, roll through the ankle. Again, it doesn't matter if it's perfectly straight or if it's close to your face or not, but you do want to have your hips on the block. If it feels accessible to you today, take your right leg and stretch it out in front of you. It doesn't have to be locked out straight. And notice now if you're dumping more weight into your right hip and the left hip is lifting a little bit or you're leaning a little bit towards the right, level out your pelvis so it's kind of like you got to drop your left hip down and push your right hip up a little bit. And you'll see this in your standing poses the same way. Take another breath. Empty the breath and bring the right leg up in the air. So both legs are up in the air. Wherever they are. It's okay. Flex point, roll the ankles. And just put all your weight into your block. Drop your belly down, your ribs down towards your hips. And then bend both knees back onto the floor and stretch both legs out in front of you if that feels okay for your back. Stretch your arms over your head, hook your thumbs, reach your fingers away from your center, reach your toes away from your center. Find your longest length in your body right now. Using the breath to guide you deeper and deeper. Inhale, bend your knees. Exhale, release your arms. Inhale, lift your hips. Move your block off to the side, articulate your spine down, and then hug your knees up to your chest. Right hand on right knee, left hand on left knee. Make big opposing circles. And reverse the circles. Bring the legs together, open the arms to a T, shift your hips to the right, let your knees both fall over to the left side in a simple, easy spinal twist. Breathe in, open up the shoulders and chest. Inhale, return to the center. Shift your hips to the left, let your knees fall over to the right side. Inhale, return to the center. Exhale, lift your head and shoulders, grab a hold of the tops of the foot or shin, and start to rock and roll your spine up and down, and then come into a comfortable seated position when you get up. So if you would cross your ankles underneath your knees as opposed to just crossing at the ankles, or your feet underneath your knees, you could take 2 blocks one under each knee, and place your hands on top of your thighs, lift your chest up, inhale. Exhale, tuck your chin and chest together, pull the belly in, round your spine, stay here in this scooped out position, holding onto your legs. Create a big giant C curve of your spine. Inhale, use your arms to help assist you up, hinge forward. Exhale, drop back, belly into spine. Inhale, come back up, hinge forward. Exhale, drop back. Make some circles through your torso. One side or the other, because you'll do both. Use your arms to assist you. Move through your shoulders, chest, everything moving. And then reverse the direction. You might feel some rock and roll over some bony places. Come back to center. Lift your chest all the way up. Stretch your arms all the way up with the breath. Hook your thumbs again. Exhale, lean to the right side. Inhale back to center. Hook your thumbs. Exhale to the other side. Inhale, switch the thumbs, lift up and over to the right side. Exhale, come back to center, do it one more time to the left side. Inhale, back to center, lift your arms back to your cactus. Exhale, squeeze in, round your spine. Inhale, open your chest and take the arms behind your back, lift your chest up. Exhale, fold forward, interlace your fingers, head down towards the floor, let go. Inhale, pull yourself up, knuckles down. Release your hands, lean back, shake out your legs, switch the cross of the legs. One more time, bringing the feet underneath the knees as opposed to just crossing at the ankles. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead again, hook your thumbs. Exhale, turn to your right side. Just turn your torso to the right, keep your left hip grounded. A little bit more depth when you can find it, and then exhale, release the left hand outside right thigh. Right arm behind you, a little bit more to your left side. Inhale for length, exhale for the twist. Relax your left shoulder down. Inhale, return to center, arms up, hook the other thumb in front. Exhale, turn to your left side, rotate your torso. Find a little bit more space and then release the right arm outside the left thigh, left arm behind you, a little bit more towards the right side. Inhale for length. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, return to center, arms up, you don't have to hook the thumbs. Hinge forward, walk your arms forward. Keep your hips pushing back. Relax the neck and shoulders down, away from the ears. Inhale and exhale. Walk your hands back in. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, open to a cactus. Inhale, stretch your chest. Exhale, hook your arms together, round and curl your spine. Inhale, open up, stretch the arms behind you, interlace the other finger on top, knuckles down, heart lifts. Open up, shoulders, chest. Good, and then release your hands, lean back, shake out your legs. If you have blocks, just move them off to the side. Come onto your hands and knees. Swing your legs around anyway. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, hips and shoulders width apart. Tuck your toes, dip your belly, arch your back. Exhale, round and curl. Just one time in this cat pose, big, strong domy back. Inhale, come to neutral, step your right foot back behind you, tuck your toes. And here's the same thing. Drop the right hip down so the hips are parallel or level. Lift your right leg in the air, still keeping and maintaining that straight, level pelvis. Left arm comes forward, drop the right hip lower. Lift the right leg up. Exhale, bend the right knee, grab a hold of the right foot, kick the foot away from your hand, away from your hips, and lift your chest open. Breathe in, breathe out. So lifting up the right hip a little bit so it's still parallel. Let go of the arm and leg with slow release. Left arm down, turn to your right side. Right arm up, right leg out. Lift out of your bottom side body. And then bend your right leg and grab a hold of the foot and kick the foot again away from you. All the way away from you. Open up your shoulders, your chest. Push your hip forward, push your foot back. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, turn to the front of your mat. If you can still hold on to the right foot, take it with you for the ride. Take your hands on the floor or on the blocks, any height. Drop your back hip lower so the knee is behind your hip. Right knee is over the ankle, shoulders back and down. Inhale and exhale. Press down firmly through your right foot. Push the right heel back towards the left knee so you'll have some action in the hips and the glutes. And then keep that action in the legs. Bring the arms overhead. Inhale. Exhale, open your arms to cactus. Lift your heart. Inhale. Exhale, round and curl your spine. Elbows kind of touch the top of your thigh. Inhale, open up. Good, release the arms behind your back, interlace your fingers, palms together, knuckles down. Exhale, straighten your front leg and fold over it.
Toes up or down, but level out the hips as best you can. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, release your hands to the block. Hinge forward one more time. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Lift the knee off the floor. Keep the hips low. Hands on the floor or the block. Step your right foot to meet your left foot. Plank for a breath. And then empty the breath into downward facing dog.
Hips up in the air. Bend one knee, then the other. If your hands on the blocks, you might find that your heels easily touch the floor or more easily touch the floor. Inhale on your tippy toes. Shift forward. Bring your knees to the earth. Hands can be on the floor or the blocks. Step your left leg back behind you. Before you lift it up, level out your pelvis and lift the left leg off the floor. And so we're not dumping into the right hip here, right? We're staying as squared as possible. If that means lowering your leg a little bit more, that's fine. Inhale, stretch your right arm forward, thumb up. Exhale, bend the left knee, grab a hold of the foot with your hand, kick the foot away. Open up your shoulders, chest, your hips. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. Without boomeranging, let go of the foot and hand. Right hand comes down, left leg stays up, left arm comes up. Lift up and out of your right waistline. Exhale, bend your left knee, grab a hold of the foot, kick the leg behind you. Push the hip towards the left wall. Inhale and exhale. If you can still hold on to your left foot, take it with you as you turn yourself forward and then lower your back or move your back knee a little further back. Come onto your blocks if you have them. Shoulders back and down. Press your heel down and back. Your left heel down and back. So you have some action going on in the bottom side of your body. Inhale, lift your chest up, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, bend the arms, cactus the arms. You can do a little back bend. Inhale. Exhale, round and curl. Elbows touch the top of your thigh. Inhale, open up your chest. Exhale, release your hands behind your back, other finger on top. Knuckles down, lift your heart. Exhale, straighten your front leg and fold over. One more breath, just focus on breathing. Inhale, release your hands, lift your chest. Tuck your right toes underneath you. Here's all nice. Lift your right knee up. Step your left foot back to plank for the breath, and then hips up in the air, downward facing dog. Then one knee, then the other. And then when you're ready, settle into your downward facing dog. Good, and just press your chest towards your thighs, lift your hips in the air. Allow your heels to descend, they don't have to touch the floor, right? Everyone's gonna be different there, so don't ever force it. It's not important enough to make that happen. All right. Inhale high up on your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees and look forward. And take some slow steps to walk your feet all the way up to the top of your mat. Stand with your feet hips width apart, so take 2 fists in between to measure it out. You can move your blocks a little bit off to the side if you'd like. And when you get down into this forward fold position, place your hands on the floor in front of your feet. So you're shifting a little bit of the weight forward. The hips will come over the heels. The knees can be as bent as you need or want them to be. Let your head hang down easily. Lift your pelvic floor muscles up. Pull your belly button to your spine. Press down firmly through your feet and start to roll through your spine slowly, slowly, slowly. Chin is tucking. Last thing that happens is the head comes up, roll the shoulders back and around. And then leave your arms down by your side. Plant your big toe, little toe, ball of the foot, heel on the floor. Broaden through your collarbone, so pull your shoulders back a little bit. Open up your palms. And then lift your knees up, it's nice and strong in the legs. Inhale, sweep your arms out and overhead. Hook your thumbs one more time.
Exhale up and over to the right side. Inhale back up through the center. Switch the cross of your thumbs. Exhale up and over to the other side. It might feel awkward switching the cross of the thumbs. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, open the arms back to your cactus. Inhale, bring the arms behind your back, lift your chest up. Exhale, soften the knees and forward fold. When you get down to the forward fold, if you want to keep your knees bent, that's great. If you want to straighten them, that's great. You listen to your body, and it should direct you into the correct spaces. Head hangs down. Inhale, release your hands to the floor blocks, lengthen your spine. Exhale, send your right foot to the back of the mat. Nice, big, healthy step. Legs are in line with the hips, so you're not on a tightrope. So move your left leg to the left enough that you can have that happen. Begin to hover your fingers off the floor of the blocks. Keep the back leg nice and strong as you start to rise up through bringing the arms overhead. Now bend the knee and open up the arms again into your cactus. Exhale, bring your hands together, round and curl, elbows touch the knee. Inhale, lift your arms up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor, blocks, straighten your front leg. Turn your right toes on their side. So turn them about 45 degrees. The toes are pointing towards the front edge of your mat, the right side. Take one of your blocks on the outside of your left ankle. Bend your left knee. Take your right hand on your right hip and turn your torso to the right side. So ideally, the thigh is parallel to the floor. The back foot is firm. There's no collapsing into the inner foot or to the knee. And then once you get your shoulders stacked up, reach your right arm overhead. Lift out of your left side waistline. So even though your arm is being supported on the block or the floor or the thigh, make sure you're not putting all your weight into it. And if you took that support away, you wouldn't collapse. Take your right arm, turn the palm forward. Stretch it over your head. And then rotate your torso open. Pressing firmly into the back leg. Reach like your fingers are being pulled to the front and your hips are being pulled to the back. One more breath as you look down, empty the breath. Inhale, rise up, shoulders over hips, straighten out of your front leg, and rebend your front knee. Breathe. Firm up the back outer thigh. So your pinky toes down, your big toes down. Inhale, right arm down, left arm up. Lean back to the side back. It's like a side back bend. It's really a side stretch. Straighten your front leg. Inhale, stand up nice and tall. Shoulders, arms, shoulder height. Walk your back foot in once or twice. Bump your hips to the right. Reach your torso to the left. Your hips to the right. And then take your hand on the floor, shin block. Using the block, I like the high height outside the shin, and the right arm back overhead. So I read an article last night, actually from somebody who's a master trainer at Yoga 6. It was in Bustle, and they talked about like the 10 poses you should do every day if you can't do yoga every day. And guess what? One of them was my all-time favorite pose, triangle pose. Because it does so many things to our body. It stretches, it strengthens, it lengthens. Breathe in, breathe out. Keep your legs straight. Inhale, rise up. Reverse it again with a straight leg. Bump your right hip to the left. Inhale, rebend your front knee. Adjust your back foot, warrior two. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Spin your back hip forward. Step back into a high plank. Pause. Shift a little forward. Bend your knees if you'd like. Elbows bend halfway down. Roll up and through your toes. Heart lifts, upward facing dog. and downward facing dog. Feet together at the back of the mat. Inhale, lift your right leg high in the sky. Open your right hip, bend the knee, keep your shoulders squared. So the hip opens up, but the shoulders, the torso stay level. Keep the knee bent, bring yourself to the center, bring your knee to the center. Exhale, step your right foot through. Separate your feet so you're on, train tracks, not tightrope. Drop your left hip down, and then hover your fingertips from the floor. Hug everything tight and firm to the center. Inhale, begin to stretch your arms up overhead. Now as you exhale, bend your back knee, open up your chest, arms in cactus, inhale. Exhale, elbows together, round and curl, touch the forearms to the the elbows to the thighs. Inhale, lift up, crescent lunge. Exhale, fold forward, straighten your front leg. Pull the right hip back, left hip forward. Remember that feeling of having both hips on the block when we were laying on the block. Turn your left foot on your side. Firm up the foot. Take a block outside your right ankle. Bend your right knee. Put your left hand on your hip. Turn to the left side. Stack your shoulders. Bring your tailbone underneath you. And remember, you're not dumping all your weight into your right hand, so if you lifted it up, nothing would change in your body except the arm lifting. Once you stack your shoulders, left arm comes up. Breathe in, breathe out. Find some firmness here. Find your legs doing a lot of the action. Take your left palm, face the front of the room with it, and then send it over your head. As you do that, begin to turn your torso to the left and lift it up. So you rotate through the torso. Right knee is still bent a lot, at least 90 degrees. One more breath. Inhale, keep the leg bent, come up to warrior two. Exhale, settle. Left arm back, right arm forward. Find some energy in your legs. Inhale, begin to straighten your front leg. Left arm goes down, right arm goes back. Lift all the way out of your waistline. Inhale, return to standing. Bring your left foot in once or twice. Move the hips back, move the torso forward. Right arm comes inside, outside, foot, shin, or block. Again, I like the higher height outside my calf. Left arm comes up. You can also put your left hand back on your hip to, get that opening, feel it open, and then open up with your left palm. A lot of us don't have mirrors. We can't even see ourselves in the cameras. So we have to learn how to explore our bodies in space. And sometimes we're right, and sometimes we're off. Keep your legs strong, look down. Inhale, come up and reverse. One more time with a straight leg. Exhale, bend your right knee, readjust your back leg. If you moved it up for your triangle, move it back for warrior two. Settle in. Find energy in the arms always. One more breath. Exhale, release your hands to the floor. Step back to high plank. Choose your way to downward facing dog. You can add push-ups. You can do no push-ups. And then let's meet back there. Inhale, rise up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees, look forward. Take yourself to the top of your mat, halfway lift when you get there. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press down to rise up, bring the arms with you. Hands to your heart center, empty the breath, bring your arms by your side, firm up your legs. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, cactus your arms. Inhale, lift your arms up and bring them behind your back. Interlace your fingers, one finger over from your normal grip, lift your chest. Exhale, forward fold, hands down, hands up overhead, feet down. Inhale, release your hands, look forward. Exhale, send your left leg back, so the side we just came from. Inhale, rise up, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend your arms, bend your knee, lift your chest. Inhale, bring your arms together, and then round and curl your spine. Inhale, come back up, open to crescent lunge. Back leg now becomes firm again. Exhale, hands to the floor, blocks. Straighten your front leg. Turn your left foot on its side, right hand on a block outside your right leg. Bend your right knee, and then just go ahead and take the arm right into that side angle pose if you have access to it. Tailbone underneath you. Pinky toe down, strong arms, strong legs, strong core, strong mind. Just be strong. Inhale, come up, warrior two for the breath, empty it out. Inhale, straighten your front leg, right arm up. Exhale, come back to standing. Decide if you want to shorten your stance for your triangle pose. Wherever you have your hand, make it right for you. Look down at your right toes. Inhale, reverse one more time. Exhale, bring your hands to the floor. Stay in a low lunge, and take your right arm up and open up the twist to the right side now. Breathe in, breathe out. Lower your left knee to the floor. Take your right arm behind you, lift the left foot up, see if you can grab a hold of it. And breathe. Make sure you're not sitting on your left knee. One more breath. Good, if you're holding on, gently release it. Hands on either side of the foot. Straighten your front leg up. Fold over your right shin. Pull your right hip back. Left hip forward and breathe. Inhale, rebend your front knee. Tuck your left toes underneath you. Lift the knee up, keep the hips low. Plant your palms. Step into a high plank, pause. Shift forward, choose your way through chaturanga or skip it. Upward and downward facing dogs. Inhale, float your left leg in the air. Open up your left hip and bend the knee. Keep the knee bent as you turn your hips squared again. Knee to chest, step your left leg through. Move your left leg to the left far enough that you're in an even stance. Inhale, rise up, bring the arms with you. Exhale, bend the back knee, lift your chest, open up your arms, or bend your arms and open up your chest. Inhale, come up, round and curl, elbow on top of the thigh. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge, make the back leg stronger. Exhale, lower your hands, straighten your front leg. Turn your back toes on their side. Bring your left hand on a block outside your left leg as you bend the left leg. And then just go ahead and take the right arm up and overhead, right into your side angle pose. Back leg is firm, left thigh is parallel to the floor. Oh, enough shoulders and chest. Good, using the strength of your legs, bring yourself up to warrior two. Exhale. Inhale, straighten your front leg, right arm down, left arm up. Exhale, come back to standing, adjust your size if you need it, and hinge forward, find your triangle pose. I just like to find the most space that I can, particularly in this pose. And there's so much of it happening here, in your hips, in your inner thighs, in your waistline, your shoulders. Your entire body is on stretch. Look down, inhale, reverse the triangle. Right arm down, left arm up. Exhale, release your hand. Oh, go back to warrior two, sorry. Inhale. Exhale, now release your hands, turn it around. Right hand stays, left arm opens up for a twist. Keep your hips low and level. Empty the right knee down to the floor. Empty the breath, bring the right knee to the floor. Take the left arm behind you. Pick up your right foot. If you can grab it, great. If you can't, don't worry. If you had to come back to grab it a little bit, see if you can drop forward again so you're not putting too much pressure onto your knee. Breathe in. And then release the arm, release the leg. Take the hands down, straighten your front leg, and lift your toes. Inhale, rebend your front knee, tuck your back toes underneath you. Lift the hips. And then step back to plank. Choose your way to your downward facing dog. Push firmly into your hands and feet, hips up in the air. Breathe in now. Bend your knees and walk to the middle of your mat. Separate your feet hips width apart. Take your peace finger grip around your big toe. Look forward, inhale. Exhale, elbows out to the side, head to the shins. Shake out your head, yes or no. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands to your hips and inhale, rise to stand. Good, release your arms down by your side, find stability. So if you want to be closer or further apart in your legs, you choose that. Send your weight to your left leg and lift your right heel off the floor. Then bring your heel behind you so your knees are level. So, I'm just going to make sure. Yep. All right. Hug in your standing leg. So your left leg, hug it in. Take your arms up, inhale. Exhale, cactus your arms. Lift your chest. Now release your arms behind you and see if you can grab with both hands to the foot. So you might have to make adjustments to get there. Once you grab a hold of one or two hands to the foot or a strap, kick the foot away from you. Yeah, and like the song says, look up. Don't look down. All right, so we're in this balancing pose. Flex the right foot. One more breath. Slowly come back. Release the foot. Separate your feet. Fold over your legs. Let's grab opposite elbows and sway. Switch the cross of the arms. Find some stillness in your fold. And then release your hands, bring them to your hips, look forward, rise up to stand. And then stand up tall into Tadasana for a few moments. Just settle in, don't anticipate one side could be completely different from the other. Open your eyes and press your weight into your right leg, lift your left heel, and then bring the knees together and the heel behind you. So little hamstring activation, hug your right hip in. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Exhale, open the arms, lift your chest. Inhale, release your arms behind you. Grab a hold of your foot with one or two hands. Hug your right hip in, flex your left foot, and then you choose, do you want to push the foot away from you a little bit, like a dancer's pose? So just a modification of the dancer's pose for some. Look up. One more breath, kick it away. And slowly come back. Release. Separate your feet. Forward fold again. Bend your knees. Slide your hands underneath your feet. Big toe wraps around the wrist. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Head hangs down. Shake it out, yes and no. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Release your hands, walk them out in front of you. Step into downward facing dog. Lift your hips in the air. Bend one knee, then the other. And then again, find stillness in your down dog. Firm up your biceps, turn your elbow creases slightly forward, press firmly into your thumb and forefinger. Breathe in, breathe out. And then fix your bracelet that's opened. Good. Inhale, come to your forearms. You can take your palms in prayer or keep your arms separated. Walk your feet forward, so eventually your shoulders might be over your elbows. Float your right leg off the floor. Those of you who want more can start to do little kicks into a forearm stand, right? You can just practice kicking your left heel to your buttocks and floating your right leg up a little higher. It's an option. I see nobody wants to take it. Take your right leg back to the floor, readjust, take your left leg off the floor. So if you want to do those little hips, those little kicks, you just start to do little donkey kicks. Exhale, lower your left foot to the floor. Walk your feet back, take yourself into a forearm plank now. Shoulders over elbows, open up your arms if they're connected. Shift forward. Lower your hips, open up your legs a little wider, pull your heart through. Draw your elbows towards each other and towards your chest. Lift up onto the top of your pubic bone, below your hip bones. Pull up your pelvic floor muscles. Oh my gosh, I was watching Sex and the City last night. If anybody saw the 4th episode, gets into some Kegel exercises. So do like a little Kegel here. And that's all I'll talk about right now. One more breath. Push your hips to your heels. Walk your arms out in front of you. Open your knees wide. And take your arms as wide as your mat as well. Good. Inhale, come back to your hands and knees. Send your legs closer together and just send your legs off to the side and around to the front. If you have a block, if you have 2 blocks, great. If you have 1 block, great. We'll do what we gotta do. Put the block the long way between your 2 knees. Line up your heels with your sitting bones. Your legs can be a little further apart or closer together, or further apart from your hips, or closer towards the hips if you'd like. If you have 1 block, an extra block, you can keep it in the front of your mat the long way again. Not necessary if you don't have it, no big deal. Lift your chest up. Squeeze the block between your thighs. Release your arms, shoulder height, thumbs up. Inhale. Bring your chin to your chest. Exhale, round your spine. Start to peel yourself down to the floor, keeping the block between your knees. Make sure that you have space on your mat for your head to rest, and then walk your feet in a little bit closer. Tilt your pelvis. Press your shoulders into the floor. Only lift your hips. Don't lift your back. So squeeze your glutes. Really scoop out your belly like we do in a regular abdominal exercise. Scoop out your belly and squeeze your glutes. If the block drops out, you're not putting enough pressure in from your inner thigh here. Then release it. Good, let's do it again. Exhale, tilt your pelvis. Push your feet firmly into the ground. Now start to peel up, lifting your hips off the floor. And then walk 1 arm at a time underneath your back, interlace your fingers. Draw your heels towards your buttocks. Squeeze your knees together. Feel all the action you have to feel here for these poses, for your bridge, and for perhaps if you want to get into a wheel later. Release your arms down to the side. Articulate your spine, upper first, mid, lower, back to the floor. Just keep the block in and turn your toes in pigeon-toed. So open up your legs a little wider. Okay. Now everybody, so it seems like everybody has 1 block, so let's just do this for a moment. Take the block from underneath, place the 1 block in the middle of your mat at the front. where your feet are. Then lay down and put your feet on the block. If you have 2 blocks, you can put 1 foot on each block. Alright? So let's do the same thing we just did. Tilt the pelvis. Just lift the glutes up. Keep your back imprinted so your waistline is on the floor. Don't push the weight into the block or the block's going to slide out in front of you, right? So you want to think about pushing down rather than forward. Release the hips down. Exhale, tilt your pelvis. Now lift your hips up. Don't turn your head, just look forward. Take your arms underneath you. You probably have a little bit more space. Release your hands, upper mid, lower back to the floor. And again, let your knees just turn in a little bit. Just knock it in. All right, now, again, if you have 2 blocks, 1 foot on each block, you might find this a little bit less challenging. Or you're going to try with 2 feet on the blocks. Option to do the bridge again. Let's all go there. And then another option is if you want to take it into a wheel. So lift your tilt your pelvis, lift your hips up. Take your hands by your shoulders if you want to try to go to wheel, and then just come to the top of your head, lightly. And then push down to lift up. Now, I will say, again, I think that it's easier with 1 foot on each block, so if you have that option, try it. If you're in a wheel, take it to your head slowly, lightly, and then articulate back down to the floor. Take your block, bend your knees, lift your hips back up, take it on the medium height. So the flat height we started with, the bigger height is, might be too much for most of us, for many of us, but the medium height should be doable. If not, you go to the lower height. And then again, let your hips settle onto the block, into a supported bridge pose. Stretch your right leg in the air. We did this earlier. Now we're just doing it on a higher block. Stretch your left leg out in front of you. We're not holding onto the legs, so just use the weight of your body and resistance and proprioception. Now, again, you want to level out your pelvis. So with the right leg in the air and the left leg long, you might be shifting more into your right leg to stabilize. So see if you can press the left hip down as well as kind of lifting the right hip up. That's just going to make it level as opposed to uneven, right? Inhale, float your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, lower your right leg, bend it first, and then slide it out on the floor. Once you do that, notice where your pelvis is dipping. So the right hip might be dipping down more, or the left hip might be dipping down more. Either way, we're going to try to level it out. Your straight leg on the floor doesn't have to be straight. It doesn't have to be locked, for sure. Probably won't be. So think about lifting your right hip level to your left and dropping your left hip level to your right. You'll also feel your abdominals start to work. Inhale, stretch your right leg up in the air. Both legs up in the air. Lower one leg at a time to the floor. Straighten the legs out as best you can. If it doesn't feel right, bend the knees, stretch the arms overhead. Once again, find your biggest length today. Should be even longer than it was earlier. We just grew a couple of inches, right? See if you can soften the glutes, but reach everything long. Bend the knees, bring your arms down by your side. Press down to lift up, remove the block, articulate your spine down. Hug your knees to your chest. Cross right leg over left leg once, grab the ankles, shins, or toes. Pull the heels to the buttocks.
Open your arms to a T, shift your hips right, let your knees fold to the left side twist. Left hand can rest outside the right thigh, right arm over your head. Inhale, stretch the arms open again. Uncross the legs, exhale, come back to center. Inhale, left leg over right, grab ankles, shins, or your toes. And then open your arms to a T, shift your hips left, let your knees fall open to the right. Right hand on the outside of the hip, left arm up and overhead. Good, release the arms, uncross the legs, hug your knees to your chest. Rock on your spine, make yourself nice and comfy as you just release some of the stress in your back, and then stretch your legs out in front of you. And bring your arms by your side and start to settle in for your final pose. Mostly our favorite pose. And all the hard work that you did for the last 55 minutes take you into this pose. So begin to let go of all the physicality. And as you surrender your body, scan it out, make sure that there's no tension remaining anywhere. For those at home, stay fit, stay healthy.